Thank you very much. This is 𝐾𝐢𝐠𝐤𝐒 Limited Digital Point of Sale demo. So here you provide the password, or if you want to be new, you are a new person, you can sign in. So first of all, you should anyway start by signing in. So when you want to sign in, you need to provide all these details which will be activated by the admin. So once you have been activated by the administrator, then you can now log in. So when you provide your passwords and the username for logging in, then you click the login button. So the system will log you in and allow you to access those parts which you can access. So this is the dashboard and the links to various section of the system. As you can see, we have got the sales here, we have got the products, we have got the customers, we have got the suppliers, expense, reports, cashier, settings, and then the user. Then here is where you can log out. So you have been logged in here, you can see the admin. You can as well change your password if you need. So the way you start with this system is, first you start by doing the settings. So here in the settings, you can configure the name of the shop. As you can see here, this is very much necessary because it will be put into the receipt and the invoices and the delivery. So this is the name of the shop or the business. Then you can also add the product categories at this point. So different kind of the product categories, the broad categories of the product you can also add at this point. Then we have got the product type. So under the category, there could be various kinds of product type. So here we have got, for example, the category is drugs, and the drugs we have got the antibiotics as well as the painkillers. Then under electronics, we have got the smartphones and the electrical cables. So it can be the smallest unit now of the category. Then we have got the expenses. You need to configure your expenses. What are your monthly expenses which you incur? You configure them at this point. It is at this point where you configure them. Then we have got the accounts. These ones are the accounts which you receive money with, the payable accounts, or the payments accounts. Those accounts which you can use to do some payments or receive some amount of money. You add them at this point. So these configurations are very important. Then the last one, under settings, we have got the tax information. So this one might be needed when you need to do a customization on your tax, because at some point with the KRA and all this tax involvement, you need to know what amount of tax you have paid, and you set the percentage which has been given by the government of the day. So you need to configure this at this point. This value will be used at the sale time when you configure the products. So once you have done the settings, you can now come and do the products. So here it is where you now add the products. Our system here ensures that it does what is called data minimization, whereby you only pick the required information. So we need the item code, item name, description, the buying price, the retail price, the wholesale price, the expiry date, item quantity, category. These ones, the ones which we had configured. And then you need to say if it is taxable or not. Then you can save. Look, for example, this one is not taxable. This is taxable. So it will take the tax percentage which you had configured in the settings when calculating the tax amount. Then you can save these. So this is where you configure the items or the products. So let's say you want to update the quantity of the product. What you will just do, you will just search that item at this point. Once you search the item, you click on it, and then the quantity which has been added. So this is the quantity which is already there. So if you have added, let's say three in the stocks, let's say three, you add three, and then you do what? You save. It will ask you to update, then you just say yes. So what you do, is updating what is there. So that was Panadol Extra. You see, it has updated to 36. So that is the basics of updating the stock, or as well as even the expiry date. You can do that. Then the next part is the customers. Now you need to know who are your customers, especially if you are selling on credit. Those customers whom you will be selling on for on credit, you need to update their details here. I have said that our system here ensures data minimization. So we do not need to take unnecessary information. We only need the name of the customer, email address, the phone number, and then the ID. These ones are the things which can help us to track that client who are paying on, who we are selling to on credit. So you need to keep these details because they will be needed. Then you need to know who are your suppliers. Your suppliers also, you need to ensure that you keep some of their details for the for maybe contact purposes. If you have got an item which they supplied to you and somehow it has got an issue, you need to follow up. You need to keep those information. Then now once we have picked these, we need now to do our main thing, which is making sales. So here in sales, we have got the items on this upper table. So it is this table which contains all the items. You can search for an item here. The way the system works is just a normal. So you add the quantity, then you add it into cart. So if you try to add an item which is less, for example, the quantity of this item in the stock here is 1 and we are trying to sell 2, the system will refuse. So it cannot allow you to sell what you do not have. So you must ensure that you put the correct amount of quantity of items here. So if I just change that item, then I put these 3, then I add it to the cart, then that one will go. So you can see my cart has increased to 3, the quantity has increased to 3, the subtotal here. Then we have got the paid amount, the amount which the clients need to pay or the customer. So it is at this point, where you now need to select the account now which you had configured in the settings, which is receiving this money. So if they have paid through cash, you just select cash. And then if they give you, let's say 50, what you need to put here is 50 for it to calculate for you the change or the balance which you need to give the customer. Then if you are selling here on credit, the system will ask you to provide the customer name. So it is at this point where you can select which customer you want to sell to. You can choose the customer or search the customer at this point, and then you can save. But maybe you do not want to make this sale. You want to just give an invoice, or you want to give an invoice, sell it, and then give the delivery notes. It is being delivered to the customer. So it is at this point where you can click on the delivery note. Once you click on the delivery note, it will ask you if you will want to print it. So it will load, and then it will print. Then we have got the invoice. The same will happen. You see, we have got the invoice at this point, whereby you can now view your invoice and then give it to the customer. Then we have to save. Now, when you will be saving, it will ask you if you want to print the receipt or not. There are those customers who do not want to print the receipt. Now, when you do not want to print the receipt, you just say no, and then the sales will be saved, and then it will be reset to a new window. It will refresh everything for you to do another sale. Then the next part now, once we have sold the items, it will be reduced by the number of what we have sold. For example, if it auto calculates. So if we have sold here, for example, this one, it reduced the item quantity by the 3. So it was let's say 4. Now it has reduced by 3. It is now 1. It reduces, it deducts automatically. Now, once we have sold, maybe the person who is selling is not the person who is making these payments. So if the person who is selling is not the one who is making payment, then it means they will all sell on credit, or they will have, yes, they will have to sell on credit so that the cashier who is making the payment will update that sales as paid. So if you have got maybe a cashier somewhere, and then the salesperson is different, so the one who sells just sells at this point, then updates the status as a credit. Then when now cashier comes, it is the cashier who will see the credit. You can see, like for example, this one is on credit. So I can just type that receipt number or the voucher number which the client has come to show me, which was printed by the salesperson. So I just click on it, and then it will tell me amount the customer is supposed to pay. Then now I will update it as paid. So when I save this one, it will be updated as paid. It will be updated as paid. As you can see, it has been paid. Yes, it has been paid. If we again search for it, it is this one. It has been updated as paid. So there is no any amount of money which the customer needs to pay. That is the part of the cashier. Then the next one, we need now to record on the expenses. Now, expenses, you can record them. For example, maybe you are paying your employees, you need to pay wage, you need to pay salary, you need to pay rent. You just put here rent amount which was paid, let's say 4,500. If there is any supportive document, or maybe a better transaction code, whatever the payment is, then you paid which account did you use to pay, and then when did you pay it, then you just save that one, and then it will be recorded as expense. It will be recorded as expense. Then once you have recorded expenses, you need now to know at the end of the day, how have you done? How have you done? Then that one takes me to the reports. Now here in the reports, you can see the stock value you have at the end of the day. You just need to scroll down or go to the last page here. It will show you the total value of your stock. We have got the retail value, which is retailing at this one, and we have got the wholesale value, which is retailing at this one. Then you might need to know a specific category or item. You just need to type that one at this point. So let's say I only need to know painkillers. Painkillers. It will give me only the painkillers under the item type here, under the item type. So at the end of the day, I will know in this type, in this product type, what is my stock. If you want to know for a certain item, then you also just need to put that item at this point. At this point, you can just put the specific item. You narrow it down to the specific item, so I can know the value of this item here, the value of this item here. Then you can print it at this point. You can print and save it. Then you need to know what is your daily sales. What is your daily sales? So if you just refresh, then you will know what was sold. This is what we have sold today. So you can just see your sales per day or per specific date. And you can see the item which we sold was not taxable. So there is no tax which has been calculated here. There is no any tax at this point. Then finally, we have got the expenditure. You need to know what are your expenses. Then you can know them at this point. So you can get to know the expense from which date to which date, and then you can now balance your account. Then now when the admin comes, the users will be activated at this point. So when a user was created, like for example, this one is a user whose status is 0. When the status is 0, it means that the user is not active. So it's the admin who needs to activate and deactivate the users of the day. This is all about the 𝐷𝐠𝐸 point of sale. The 𝐷𝐠𝐸 point of sale is a very simple to use, and it maximizes the information which you get from it. So you can get in touch to get this software at the negotiable price, which you will talk about. Thank you very much, and I hope you will come on board so that we can help digitize and digitalize your business and manage your data. Thank you. God bless you.